What up, Joel Pearl? New show.
New show. It's that new show smell, that new show feel, that new show. What the hell did you do to our logo in the bottom?
Nothing. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Look at it. It's cute. I changed the color scheme. I blended elements of Impact Wrestling. You know, you got the little reds. You know, some reds. I blended elements of Smackdown because you know you got the blues kind of everywhere, and then you got the little faint, shitty mustard yellow of NXT.
Jesus Christ, we'll figure it out.
Dude, we got no budget. I'm not hiring a graphic designer, and I don't have an eye for this shit. So I'm doing my best.
You're doing your best, and if you want to do your best with us, you can smack a like on this gimmick. Okay, it's SmackPack. It's round 1. I'm pretty excited. I mean, here we are.
SmimPacked, as I wanted to call it, but whatever.
SmimPack,
because we got to get that K in for Kingdom.
We got the K. The K is
we got in SmackPack. We got the Kingdom, but I wanted to call it SmimPack. But anyway, we went with the one that makes more sense and includes actual words.
Honestly, it makes it sound like we need to start bringing on like a new 3rd or 4th person hosting with us and make it a pack, like a pack of people talking about a bunch of different shows.
That's true. It can't be someone I don't like. So.
There are plenty of
good luck.
Hello to our friends in the chat hanging out with us at noon Eastern on a Sunday morning. I don't know how to feel about that. I'm like just rolled out of bed and figured, hey, get some caffeine in me and let's talk about wrestling. I feel like my day is set. How about yours, Tim? Are you ready to talk some wrestling for the day?
Yeah, I watched most of it this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you were up at like a pretty reasonable hour last night too.
Yeah, and then I got up at a pretty reasonable hour this morning so that I could watch most of the wrestling. I watched the main event of SmackDown live. No, I tuned in when Shinsuke was molesting himself
with the ground.
Yeah, that was the very first thing I saw, and I was like, what is wrong with me?
You should see him in a crown, is what you're saying.
Oh, it's a great album. New one coming out.
And yeah, actually, I'm excited for Billy.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. And then what else? What other shows are we talking about? Impact. I watched Under Siege last night at the exact same. So I have a big ass curved monitor. I had Under Siege on the left side of this monitor. To the right of it, I had UFC, whatever fucking number it is. I'm just gonna cuss on this show. I don't even give a shit. Whatever. It's not for children. Children shouldn't watch this, as evidenced by UFC last night. Audibly watching Jacare Souza have his arm broken. It seems like every single month now I watch something gruesome.
Yes. What is this all about? Every single time I tune into any UFC anything, it's just like so-and-so just had their bell rung. So-and-so just had their arm snapped. So-and-so just snapped their own leg on first contact. I was like,
yeah, man, I don't know. Future reference, like maybe hang it up when you're over 40 and a fighter, but whatever.
It's not my gimmick.
Or transition to pro wrestling, which is, you know, less gruesome most of the time.
I mean, it's worked for so many people. Did you know that Shinsuke Nakamura was an MMA fighter?
No.
Yeah, undefeated record as well. You can go check it out. It's pretty good. I'm into it.
Video evidence, I presume?
Of course there is. I think it was 8-0 or some ridiculousness like that. So speaking of Shinsuke, we're watching SmackDown last night. We're gonna kind of bounce all over the place, I guess.
Nah.
So I'm watching SmackDown last night, just like, well, you kind of watched it late. I watched it on Friday, so I watched it live. And they kept hitting us on the head with the whole like, Baron Corbin is king of the ring, King Corbin, king of the ring. It's the king of the ring and the king of strong style and the king of this and the king of that. And I'm just like, can you just tell us there's king of the ring coming up?
They can't until after WrestleMania Backlash.
And that's the problem. You're right. You're totally right. They want to keep the focus on one pay-per-view cycle at a time.
They honestly, they apply like marketing fundamentals like they've taken one course in like university or college. I don't know where the hell you learn marketing. I went to a college and quickly dropped out. But like, why can't they like use a little bit of nuance or subtlety or like, you know, like why does it have to be so over the head? Like, no, we can't ever bring up anything outside of this section. Like we're talking about this. The message is this. We're on brand. These are our talking points and we will never deviate. It's silly.
I understand not introducing new wrestlers, new characters going into a pay-per-view.
Same.
That's fully understandable. That makes sense. That's good business. What really confuses me is when you start kind of dropping these little hints, but they're not dropping these hints. They're hitting you over the head with them.
Yeah.
So next thing you know, we're just sitting there being like, okay, instead of telling us 100 times, why don't you just tell us the King of the Ring is coming? We will have more information soon. Instead of just being like, hey, reminder, this guy's King of the Ring. Hey, reminder, this guy's King of Strong Style. Hey, reminder, this guy's still King of the Ring. It's a lot.
Yeah, I feel like they do that sometimes because they haven't committed. And like they need to fill time, so they have to leverage their like maybe we'll do this ideas, but like I feel like maybe they're just not committed to it. So I don't know, maybe it'll turn into nothing.
Maybe. I mean, I think it's going to be something. You can't steal the crown. I mean, what are they going to do? Put the crown on a pole?
Yeah. Yeah, they could absolutely do that.
It's going to be one hell of a summer. But I think our chat is right. I mean, if there's a King of the Ring, let's do a Queen of the Ring.
I would like any of these tournaments to matter.
So this is what you can do. You ditch Money in the Bank for a year.
Yeah, beautiful.
Instead of having Money in the Bank where you can cash it at any time, and it's almost always going to be a heel who takes Money in the Bank because Money in the Bank is inherently a cash in when
it's
someone
a trolley. Yeah.
Instead, you can do the King of the Ring tournament. You can have the winner get a shot at the championship of their choosing, and there it is. You have the King of the Ring. You have the Queen of the Ring. It's not a hard topic. I don't think they've done a Queen of the Ring. So instead, the Queen of the Ring gets a shot at the championship they want, whichever one they want at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great idea. That's a lot more interesting, and you can give it to a face because clearly they gave it to Otis last year and then could not deviate from their formula even a little bit. Like he could not have that. They made it this piece and then gave it to the Miz.
They ran themselves into a corner as well with Otis because next thing you knew they gave the championship to Braun.
Yeah.
And then they gave it to Roman next, and they were like, well, we're not going to have either of those guys lose. And then on the Raw side of things, it was Drew McIntyre. So Otis was basically screwed from the get-go.
Yeah, they would have had to do like a Dolph Ziggler gets the title program so that Otis could wrestle him. Like they wouldn't have done anything else. It's rough.
Okay, so going back to the Nakamura thing. So Nakamura's 3-1-1.
You lied to me.
I couldn't remember. I don't know where I heard 8-0, but it's there. So there you go. He's 3-1-1 in MMA. His only loss was to one of the Gracie family. So I know the Gracies. I do know that. So there you go. And he beat one of the best in K1 MMA. So
Very
now
cool.
I'm learning today. I appreciate the information, Elliot. Thank you. So let's move back. We went to SmackDown. Let's move back. Let's talk about Under Siege last night. I know we're going to bounce back and forth a bit. What do you think? Hot Moose summer?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very, very happy with this result. I fucking love Moose. And like that entrance is so hype. I was very fired up.
So Moose wins the #1 contendership.
Yeah.
His contract supposedly with Impact ends in June. And he has put out into the universe that he wants to win the Impact World Championship before we get to the end of his contract. And against all odds, when he has that championship match, is June the 12th. So I don't know if you're familiar with the Summer of Punk storyline. I don't think you are you?
No, sir.
I know you're not. Well, this is why we're going to do Tim's takes and have you watch old pay-per-view. So Summer of Punk, just to put it very simply, was that CM Punk in Ring of Honor was on the verge of signing with WWE. And what does he do? He signs a contract for WWE in a Ring of Honor ring and then has like the run of his lifetime in Ring of Honor before going to WWE. And then when you're in WWE, he does a whole other storyline, the Summer of Punk in 2011, where he has a contract coming due. He renegotiates, but he has a championship match, wins a championship as he's expiring on his contract, and runs out with the title. So there's no WWE championship. That's the story of Summer of Punk in WWE. You can do the same thing with Moose, but I'm kind of afraid that everyone's going to remember this being the same thing. I still like the idea of Kenny Omega versus Moose, but I don't see Kenny dropping the title before he drops the AEW title.
Yeah, it's kind of a big part of their narrative, isn't it? But I don't know. That 6-man tag, they lost. There seems to be some discord between him and his compatriots. Could be that Don counsels him, hey, you got to drop the dead weight. he drops the Good Brothers, then he has no allies, and then starts to drop belts. That could be where they're going with it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Kenny drop things one by one. And you and I joked about the idea of him doing like a scramble match where every single title is on the line.
Yeah.
And you know what? Like, listen, the more I thought about it, I was like, that's insane.
It would be very difficult logistically.
And also, after the first pinfall, everyone would know that the representative from whatever company is going to be winning the title. 100%. But I loved it because, again, I love the idea of like Moose wins the ROH Pure Championship, and then he has to go to Ring of Honor and defend it in Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
I love the idea. It's not happening.
No,
but it was fun. Like that 6-man match was a lot of fun. I want to see Trey Miguel and Chris Bay tag up now. That's what I want.
Yeah, what was it? Trey Bay? Bay Trey?
Trey Bay. Yeah, Trey Bay.
Yeah, that's
Trey
fine. That would be, I don't know what Trey Miguel stuck back for right now. I hope he's got some better plans than feuding with Sami Callihan and then this.
I mean, it looks like Sammy's going to be moving into some sort of TV feud with Kenny and the Good Brothers.
Oh, man. That's quite possibly the worst decision ever. In wrestling. Like, I don't want to watch that at all.
I don't know what to think because I assumed that Sammy was going to win that number one contendership given the way that things ended on Thursday and then the way things were starting on Under Siege.
Yeah.
Then they pull him out. They pull out Sami Callihan and beat him down, and that's it. Sammy's out of the match. Is this a situation where is it Kenny that wants him, or is it the Good Brothers that want him? Is it Don that wants him? Who?
Do they know each other? Like outside, like non-kayfabe?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, me neither. Like, because it's like, why? Out of everyone on that roster, is Kenny going like, I want to work with this guy?
Okay. I know Mox and Sami Callihan have a background.
Okay, so
Someone
maybe
had pointed
they have
out the idea that maybe this brings Mox into Impact. I don't necessarily see it that way.
He seems busy.
Yeah, he just showed up at GCW last night in Vegas. My favorite thing being, Renee earlier in the day, his wife being like, I bought new lampshades and I'm very excited to show it off to my husband because this is adulting now. And then her adult husband shows up to beat the shit out of Nick Gage at a wrestling show.
Yeah, honestly, I read that tweet and it just picturing that domesticity was like baffling. I was just picturing him covered in like blood, picking glass out of his flesh. Like, oh yeah, honey, that's a cool lampshade.
Honey, look what I bought. I really, really like it. I got it at the store. I got a great deal. And he's just sitting there. Yeah, that's great. Hey, listen, can you pick this glass out of my back? I think it's wonderful what you bought. I'm really happy. But
Baby's gonna love it.
Baby's. We'll put it in our wills so the baby will get it when it's 13.
Oh my God. 13, because that's the approximate age that Mox is going to make it to.
I didn't say it that way, but I only implied it. Match of the night, by the way, for that Impact show for me was Josh Alexander and ELP. Holy shit.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
How do you say?
Yeah, LP, El Phantasmo. So many syllables. Yeah, it's fun. Got good theme music.
Yes. Headbanger? Come on.
Didn't love his face. Didn't love his face at first. I was like, is this a guy I'm going to like? I don't know.
He's a POS. That's why you that's what you hate him.
Is that who he is? That's his character? Because that's the vibe I'm getting. So good on him. Good job.
He's garbage, but he's a rope walking master.
The very long old school. If he does it in every match, I will be very sick of it very fast.
Did you see it this past week on Impact on the TV show?
Yeah, with the kind of sort of Death Valley driver that was a little bit sloppy, but still very cool. But like, it was so long, and if like that's one of his staples, and he does it every single time, like, oh my God, I'm gonna get so bored of it.
What I liked was while ELP is the flippy guy, Josh Alexander is the technical guy, so they kind of mash up very well.
It was great.
And you can watch him kind of like take all the flips by taking him out with a technical, ground and pound style. I was really into Josh Alexander and ELP's chemistry.
Yeah.
There was some really good, like countering all of that high flyingness is really, really interesting. But there was a Hurricane Rana spot from the top rope where I watched ELP like get heights.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from, but I was very, very interested in that. It was really good.
Yeah, it was good. Between that and like Moose just like super duper plexing. I think it was
Yes.
Trey Miguel. I can't remember. But like one of them, like just so far, like very good top rope spots.
Yeah, they were definitely well rehearsed and ready to go. I was very
Yeah.
happy to see that.
Moose looked lean too. He was like I think he's the leanest I've ever seen him. And like he's like 30, like late 30s. So like good on him. He's doing well.
He somehow transformed his body in the last few years because he wasn't always like when he was in Ring of Honor, he did not look this
Yeah,
way.
he was like kind of a more doughy like guy.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't,
Yeah.
you know, he's a big man. He's just, and that was, he kind of leaned on that for a long time. But now it's just like, I don't know, maybe he's on gear.
I mean, listen, speaking of on gear, W. Morrissey versus Willie Mack was one hell of a match. You want a doughy guy taking on a big man with a lot of muscle.
Morrissey
Now,
was
listen,
able to just fling him around too. I was like, oh, damn. That is powerful.
They beat the shit out of each other. Ain't
Yeah.
no other way. Very happy to see that. And you know what? Mac did the one thing that I wanted him to do in defeat, and that was come out strong.
True.
I don't know if you really like watched him take it to Morrissey.
Yeah,
for his
yeah.
entire
Like
match,
he
right?
had tons of offense. So like he did look strong. He looked like serious in it too, not just like some goof.
Yeah, my one concern, and I saw this kind of floated around the internet, was the idea that Morrissey is having an almost test in TNA type of run. When Andrew Martin showed up in TNA, he was a lot bigger, a lot more jacked, and very clearly on something. That was kind of a conversation that was started last night. And I'm hoping it's not. I'm hoping that's not the case. I like Morrissey. I'm rooting for him to do better as a wrestler, but I don't know. I want this to be a good return for him. Tej, as we like to call him.
Yeah.
The son. So Rich Swann returns after this match.
Yep.
Morrissey versus Swan sounds good to me. I don't know about you.
Any match where Rich Swann gets smushed by a big man, I'm going to enjoy.
I'm waiting for Willie Mack to turn.
Yeah.
Do you think it's going to be during that? Do you think? I thought it would be last night. I honestly thought that Mack would just turn on Swan and Morrissey would go do something else.
Yeah, I figure they'll probably do some tag program and then, yeah, shortly after. I don't see it prolonging itself too long.
Our Knockouts champs, we got new ones. Well, return.
Yeah, I like the hot potato with it. I like that they picked it back up right away.
You know, and it's really funny because Fightful Select had reported that when the tapings originally were held that led up to Under Siege, they said at least one title was going to change. I had completely forgotten about that up until the end of last night. So there you go. Fire and Flavor with that one tag team to win back their titles. Listen, Jordan Grace, they announced she signed a new deal with Impact. She's sticking around. She is the biggest commodity, hottest commodity that they've got in that women's division.
I'd say, yeah.
And once upon a time, she wrestled for the X Division title. So you get that. It's almost as if I'm thinking about how she was kind of courted to re-signing, it was like, you sign the contract, we're going to give you the Knockouts tag titles because it's something you haven't won yet.
Yeah.
And then once you drop them, we'll move you to bigger, better things. We'll do, say, the X Division championship that we never gave you because you were still on the fence about re-signing.
Yep. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. I expect that in her negotiation, she wanted big things for herself and she deserves them. Like, she's going to get them, either her being the one who overtakes Deanna or, yeah, takes the X Division title, which I think would be excellent.
I mean, word is, at the end of the day, she was courted by a few different big players in wrestling.
I can imagine.
So for her,
it would have had
for
to
her
be
show Impact.
Would have had to be a pretty damn good deal for her to stick around. So here's hoping.
Totally. Meanwhile, her tag partner, Rachel Ellering, will probably move into the singles division quite easily. I can see her taking on Deonna Purrazzo against all odds because Deonna last night, well, she mopped the floor with Havoc.
Yeah.
That was it. And again, like going back to Fire and Flava, the tag team champions, they're great as singles competitors, but they're so much better as a tag team.
Very good. I think they can have a good long run still. And they have tons of competition. You know, you have different configurations you can put together that I think will make sense. They do need a few more women on the roster now, but they'll get them.
I mean, they've got Taylor Wilde, and it looks like we'll get to that. You know, that match will be Taylor Wilde and Diana at Slammiversary. Taylor and Tenille had a tag match. They won. It wasn't much. Yada yada.
Yeah.
Just Taylor and Tenille need to have a match and get it over with, and that'll be that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Susan. Whenever Susan's in a match, Susan's going to take the pin. It's just the way it is.
The meeting segment with Scott D'Amore where she's just like so like raspy, like touch my phone, like do it, it's okay,
I give you permission.
I give you permission. It's like, oh my god, she's very funny in this bit. Like I love this gimmick, I really do.
It's very good. And again, it saves her for when she comes back as Su Yung and she's able to dominate and look very, very cool in the process.
That's such a good way of approaching this, that you can shift around and keep your characters strong, right? Like when you inevitably, like every single person has to drop down to like a mid-card position. If you have a different persona for that, it's really convenient. Because that way you can step into the main title pictures like at any moment because you have a different persona for that. Like very well put together, very well thought out. Not everyone can do that, but
yeah. Well, speaking of very well thought out, if you're here watching us live or if you're watching us after the fact, leave us a thumbs up. Leave us a comment on the video because we're going to give you our WrestleMania Backlash predictions very soon. But if there's something else that you like hearing about in this video, drop us a comment below. Or if you're live in the chat, say hello. That's what we love to hear. The rest of the matches from Under Siege were fine. Black Taurus versus Myers was fine. Nothing really noteworthy. 6-man Bullet Club match honestly wasn't for me, which is amazing to think about. I am saying a Kenny Omega match, which was super hyped. Kenny's wasn't really the part of the show.
Kenny's entrance was the highlight of for that whole segment.
I agree.
Like it was very good.
That as the thumbnail.
But after that, yeah, the match, I don't know, it was just like, yep, that's a 6-man tag match. Like
it was a 6-man New Japan style tag match.
Yeah, just everyone running around being, I don't know, got old for me. Didn't do it.
And now they're gonna try and build Edward Edwards as the heart and soul of Impact, trying to take the title from Kenny. Sure, why not?
The faces they're creating are so lame.
I'm ready for something new with Eddie because they've done heart and soul gimmicks with Sami Zayn. They've done it with Tommy Dreamer. There are countless others, but those are just the most recent ones that come to mind. I don't need it from Eddie Edwards. He's had that same gimmick for the last 5 years?
Yeah,
more so.
I mean, they just had the Rich Swann like inspirational return post injury angle stuff too, and it's just like, I don't. Give me someone to cheer for who isn't a dork.
Yeah, exactly. Someone who's not a dork. Maybe bring back his tag team partner because Davey Richards is talking about coming back. There's an opportunity to reform the Wolves. That would be huge. That would be a great opportunity to kind of refresh Eddie by bringing him back to his roots.
Yep.
Let's move on. You want to talk about SmackDown a little bit?
Yeah, let's talk about SmackDown.
We got new women's tag team champs.
Yeah, and a very emotional post win interview. It was nice. I wish those characters were more built for me, but it was good to see. You know, I'm very happy that Shania Payne no longer have the titles.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm very happy for Tamina. Obviously,
yeah, 100%. Like that was, you know.
Yeah, I read somewhere from her debut until now, it took her 4,008 days to win a championship.
That's pretty rough as a second-gen superstar.
Yeah, exactly. It's a long time coming for her. I mean, I've thrown my support behind Tamina for a few different reasons. Part of it was a joke. Part of it was because, honestly, she is someone who's been around for so long in WWE specifically, has not left, has stuck around, and has continued to put in the work and try to be better each time. This is her opportunity, and I'm all for that. Why not? Not big on Notes App Natty.
Yeah, it's like I said, neither one of them have like very well developed personas for me. Like I missed most of Natalia's like main run, so like this is just like a smush together. Not to like, I mean, Shania was basically the same. Like at least they slowly developed, so I hope that we see the same from Natty and Tamina so that they actually have characters when they leave this run.
Yeah, I mean, Shania was based on two women hating each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Becoming a
Which
thing.
is just like, okay, seen that a million times, but like, you know, it evolved, and there are points that I really enjoyed from their run. Like nothing, you know, no major qualms.
Speaking of Shania Payne, what's next for them?
Breakup, feud, move on into singles competition. I expect that'll all happen at the next pay-per-view.
I was gonna say, but first a rematch for the women's tag titles.
Yeah, that'll happen on SmackDown, 100%. Or yeah, it's SmackDown, I guess, because that's Tamina and no, I don't even know who's on what brand. God, I hate the brands.
Natty and Tamina, or sorry, Natty and Tamina are now wherever they want.
They can go wherever. Yeah,
they can go wherever.
Weren't they? Oh, they were drafted to Raw. They were drafted to Raw.
Were they? Because
I'm pretty certain they were drafted to Raw.
I don't know for sure. Someone in the comments.
It didn't make sense because we're like, they can go anywhere. Why are they even being drafted?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see something good out of Shania next. Whether that's them splitting up, everyone wants to see Shayna go on a tear. I get that. The pandemic era was kind of the best thing for Shayna Baszler because she was able to figure out what a character is in WWE. Yeah. She had the right person to do that with because Nia Jax is a character.
Yeah, 100%.
And a very entertaining one. As frustrating as she can be, you know, in terms of her wrestling skills, she's a lot of fun to watch perform.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for it, but I didn't mind the Reggie stuff at the end. Like, with her. I didn't like it with Sasha, but, like, the Shania Reggie bit was funny. Like, I don't know. It was hilarious.
But yeah, I'd love to see something happen with Shayna Baszler that tells a story beyond I'm someone who kicks ass.
Yeah.
Why not? And if there's an opportunity to put the women's tag titles on two good wrestlers who can also tell a story, I'm all for that. Natalya is a good wrestler who could actually tell a good story as long as the story isn't about her heritage.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Like, I don't need to talk about her uncle. I don't need to talk about her daddy. I want Natty to talk about being Natty. Maybe I don't, because real life Natty's kind of like, I love two things. I love my cats and I love my makeup techniques.
Oh.
She doesn't really have much else going on.
And even those things.
Yeah. I like the cats.
The cats are hard to screw up, but owning pets is not a personality.
Who's first for Tamina and Natty? Who do you think?
Riot Squad.
You think so?
Yeah, and I think the Riot Squad still loses. Yeah.
Crap. Lana and Naomi. It's the dream match I want.
Oh my god. I mean, that's not going to happen though.
We don't know this. What I do know is that Jimmy Uso ain't no bitch.
Oh my god. I read something about them they were playing kind of like will they won't they with it because they didn't know what they wanted to do, but the minute he walked out with a shirt that said nobody's bitch, I was just like, okay, they've decided, they know where they're going with this. I guess we're doing that.
If you show up at a wrestling show wearing nobody's bitch on a t-shirt,
I feel like you're
only acceptable place. The only acceptable place to show up in that t-shirt.
Oh, otherwise you're just gonna you're like itching for someone to start a fight with you.
Yeah, show up at a UFC event wearing that.
Oh my god! Yeah, you'll end up like there was a fight in the stands last night. So
of course there was. Of course there was.
Man, I was listening and Daniel Cormier on commentary was like, they're jumping somebody up there. And I was like, what? No, I misheard that. And then I go to Twitter and they're like, there's a fight in the crowd. And I was like, I'm surprised there aren't constantly just fights in the crowd. I'm sure there are. They just don't get the fans cheering for them all the time.
Yeah, and have like douchey Barstool picking up the information.
Oh, yeah.
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 All right, well, back to the point I was making.
Nobody's bitch.
Nobody's bitch. I don't know how you feel about this, but like you saw on SmackDown, Jimmy kind of gets goaded by Roman to face Cesaro.
Yep.
I felt weird by that. I didn't like that very much. It was almost like stupid baby face level of weird, which is something that they do a lot. I don't know how you saw it, but like it felt to me like putting Jimmy, like basically calling his bluff
Yeah.
There's a level of like weird toxic masculinity going on with the Usos and Roman.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say, though. Like, I believe that. Like, it feels like wrestling matchmaking still, but like, I believe it. Like, that felt like just the exact type of toxic masculinity that like this type of situation and this institution of like the head of the table would have. Like, it's not mature. Like, it is a very infantile way of organizing and running things, and I could see him goading him into, yeah, go get your ass beat. Like,
yeah, and of course Jimmy takes the bait.
yeah, and then they do the childish thing and get him DQ'd anyway. So it's like, yeah, it's just a bunch of boys being idiots. Like,
and that's the thing. It's funny that the saga of Roman is so entertaining, but we're allowed to be critical of it. And this is the one thing that to me is just like, why does it have to be a story about who's the better man or who is the man? Why does it need to be centered around that? I get the head of the table thing, that's fine, but it shouldn't be like, I'm nobody's bitch. It's like,
it's very like that. That is very. I've seen men like that. That's relatable to me. And if WWE had any good storytelling sense, which no promises, this would be their ultimate undoing, right? Their inability to act rationally or maturely will be what costs them all everything. But
it's very frustrating to hear you say that, because it's true. The part about any wrestling, you know people like that outside of wrestling. You know people like that in everyday life. It's very frustrating because it's true that does still exist. And on top of that, earlier today, I'm watching Jordan Grace deal with people in her mentions being like, because you're dating a black guy, I can't be a fan of yours.
Jesus.
And that's still a thing in 2021. It's absurd. And I'm not trying to equate, and I'm not at all trying to equate toxic masculinity to racist. That's not at all what I'm saying. I'm trying to make the point that these people unfortunately still exist that may have a very different viewpoint from where we are here now.
No, absolutely. They absolutely do. And the thing is, like, the people writing this, I don't know that they're going to see that as their ultimate undoing. It's not going to be their weakness. It's just going to be who they are, and it's going to be seen more as a strength to them, which is a shame. But it's the type of art we're consuming. Like, it's pro wrestling. It's not,
I don't know if you know this, Tim, but Cesaro is also a part of this story.
Oh yeah, the little engine.
The little engine that he's like very much secondary, which is a thing that's been happening with Roman. It's been Roman and KO. It was about Roman and Jay. Roman and Jay. It was actually about Roman, and it made more sense. But now we're doing the Cesaro thing and little engine that could promo. I wasn't shocked.
No, me neither. Like, I mean, what do you do? Like, the bigger story is that arc, is Roman's arc. And Cesaro's not going to win, I don't think. So they need this foil, this reason. So he's just a stand-in. He's the 1 month guy. I'm glad he's getting a shot at all, because I do want to see this match. But, like, I'm not going to put too much pressure on it. I expect Cesaro to lose. I don't expect the feud to continue past this month. But let him take the Backlash spot, and we get to see a match that isn't a WrestleMania rematch. So
it's the funny thing that people are all clamoring for Cesaro to have that main event run and so on and so forth. Cesaro's been given those opportunities, and the problem is he knocks it out of the park when the wrestling comes. Yeah, always. And the match on Sunday, the match tonight, is going to be excellent. No question. The storyline is just what's going to continue missing. It's 2015 all over again. It's 2018 all over again. It's anytime there's a push, Cesaro doesn't really... He's not given the opportunity to live up on the character story line.
No, because they're not giving him enough to work with, which is fine. Like, I mean, they're giving him the little engine that could, and like, I'll hear all of these like toxic entrepreneurial attitudes about this type of stuff, and it's like, you do the best with what you got. Like, I think Booker T is about that too, where it's like, I took whatever dog shit they gave me and I turned it into something. And it's like, yeah, but sometimes you can work your ass off and it's still dog shit. Like, the most that Cesaro could do with this is just really ham up the I think I can crap, which is not, that's never gonna work no matter how much you give that. Like,
so what you're saying is tonight his intro music is going to be a little choo-choo train.
Choo-choo.
It's going to come out in a little choo-choo train.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
There we go.
Just modify Shotzi's tank. Yeah.
So Jimmy's back. He's given the same opportunities as Jay, I should say. Does it end the same way? We see now Jimmy's like knocking it out of the park the same way Jay was knocking it out of the park. Then Jay gets humbled, and now his whole gimmick, his whole story is that he is subservient to Roman. Do we see Jimmy eventually bowing the knee, doing the same thing, or are we in a different situation where Jimmy and Jay team up, or Jay splits away? What do you think? Where are we going?
This one storyline is so good that they have a lot of options here, right? They could, for 1 month, repeat exactly what happened with Jay. And yes. I wouldn't hate it. I wouldn't hate it at all. Like, we have them fight. The only thing that gives me pause that we're not going to see an exact repetition is the fact that they've merchandised it. Which, they really have. And they're going to sell the shit out of that shirt. That is good. That's a winner right there. You can tell right away. I sure as hell wouldn't buy or wear it, but like, it's a winner. It's going to sell. Which means that they got to give it more than a month run because they want to sell as many as possible before making it obsolete, so to speak. So I don't know. Like, we could see a repeat. If we do, I expect it to stretch out over 2 to 3 months. Okay. And then, in that case, they've made the decision that this is going to be the better part of a year-long arc still, over and above what we've already seen so far. If they don't, the dissolution of Roman's reign is going to happen within the next 6 months.
And I don't really want to see that.
Me neither. I would prefer the 1 year-long arc. I think this is the most quality thing that they've put together in a very long time. So they could stretch this out over a year. Like, have him have to basically earn his servants each time, right? Like, he's got to beat the hell out of Jimmy, wear him down, and then boom, they're all on the same side again. And then they have a run to give them all the gold. So Jimmy and Jay do their thing again and grab the tag titles.
Yes. And it comes down to, like you said, Jimmy and Jay eventually getting back on the same page. Do they fight together do they fight against each other first, and just like brothers would, and then team up again? Does Roman turn them against each other only for them to say that? And again, that's the story. Does Roman pit them against each other to then put them back together manipulatively? Yes, that's the word. It's too early in the morning for me.
Yes.
Or do they just say, nah, forget it, let's just team up because we're brothers, we could have fought, and now we're just gonna be back with our brother?
No, you can stretch. That's the thing. You can stretch it out, and you can keep selling that stupid shirt by having Jimmy and Jay feud first, right? Cesaro gets another 1 monther, who's secondary to the actual story, which is the family, and then Jimmy wins. Beats Jay, because Jay's just a punching bag at this point, which forces Roman to step in and then beat down Jimmy, do another I Quit match, even something similar like that, and then all together. And then, the two beaten dogs will form a new team, and then under Roman's direction win.
We'll talk about the dogs in a minute, okay? Instead, let's talk about the Universal Championship match. Let's give a prediction real quick. Roman versus Cesaro.
I think we've already given that.
Clearly Cesaro, right?
No way in hell. Definitely Roman. Or they're going to squander one of the better story arcs they've written in a long time.
Cesaro at the head of the table. He's very neutral.
He's not even at the head of the table. Like, I don't want to...
He's the center of the table. He's not the head of the table. He's the center of the table, and he causes absolutely no harm. He doesn't want to cause a fuss.
Very good defense, though. Very good defensively.
Yeah, exactly. What's not very good defensively is Baby Champ.
Oh my God! It even looked like they knew that line was coming, and it felt like Ray was just like, "Oh my God, okay, let's get off." Like, no, we got to work on your smack talk, son.
So Rey Mysterio and Dolph Ziggler have a good match. Sure. Okay. Dolph Ziggler loses. Another inside cradle is his finish. And they're going to probably try to make that part of the match tonight for the tag team titles.
So they've been talking about beating over the head, like over and over again with their formulas. Like the fact that they're saying so many times, there's never been a father and son team. I really hope it's just not going to happen.
So I do too, because again, if you talk about WWE math, when your challengers win matches going into the pay-per-view, that usually means that the champion is going to defend. Now, on the other hand, WWE loves doing the first time ever and having a full alert and telling everyone. But this time they've jumped the gun. The story is no longer, oh my God, we didn't realize this until now. That's the first father and son. Now they're actually trying to hit you over the head with it, which means I don't think they're actually going to do it.
I don't think so either. I think maybe they'll wait for it to happen.
At the same time, it's WWE, so they could
I know.
have them drop the titles the next night.
But yeah, I don't want that. I also don't even want that run. I'm pretty over Rey Mysterio.
Yeah, I get that. Now, does Dominic eventually turn on his dad? Do we wait until crowds are in the venue?
God, I don't even want to watch that.
We now know that the crowds will be in place starting in mid-July.
Okay, makes sense.
And that's they're going to do a weekend of shows. It looks like a SmackDown and then a pay-per-view. The pay-per-view is usually Extreme Rules in June. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something different or have maybe it's Money in the Bank or King of the Ring tournament, whatever it
something
is
big.
They end up doing.
Yeah.
Something bigger to get the crowds in. So we know in July that's what they're looking for. Do you have Dominic turn on his dad? Because I know Dominic always wanted to have a match with his father. Maybe wants to retire his dad. What works?
I see that being a WrestleMania thing. I don't know.
Do you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what else are they going to do with Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania that's going to be significant in 2021?
Fair. The only reason I don't see it that way is because they did the same thing with Kurt Angle, and look what happened. He had the match with Baron Corbin. It was a flop. There was way too much going on the card that it doesn't let anyone care about the Rey Mysterio storyline in this case.
Yeah, fair.
So you can take a pay-per-view, a regular everyday B-level pay-per-view, and make it
elevate it. Yeah,
and you can elevate it with that.
Fair. Maybe a SummerSlam then.
So we know that the Dirty Dogs, that's with a lot of W's and a lot of G's and a lot of Z's, are going to take on the Mysterios, Dominic and Rey. Tonight, who do you think wins the match?
I'm just going to say Dolph and Rude because that's what I want. Give me a Rude singles match. Why is Ziggler doing everything?
That's a good point. I don't know why Robert Roode wasn't having any singles matches during this time.
Yeah,
it's very strange.
Bumming me out. I want to see it. I was happy when he came back. Hasn't been much that has happened since.
More importantly, what's the over-under on Dominic Mysterio being able to grow a beard?
Oh, it's not good.
No, I haven't seen it.
He's
no very baby-faced. If they're going to turn him, I need him to have a beard and look scruffy and scraggly and stuff.
Why is he the bad guy?
Because Rey Mysterio has never been the bad guy.
Maybe just once before he retires, Rey wants to be the bad guy. And, like an overbearing father, just get like too controlling, too difficult to work with. And Dom just can't take it. And he's like, Pops, I'm a grown ass man. It's time for you to step back.
I don't hate it. I can see it being that Rey needs to be put down to understand that he's been going for too long.
Yeah. It's a good angle.
It is a good angle.
And I think that would be...
My sigh was not of frustration.
No,
One of does that work? And it kind of does.
I don't see Dom... they need to revamp his entire image, like you were saying, for him to even begin to play a heel. And, he doesn't have that look yet. Yeah, I don't know. His silly little vest and stuff it's not going to fly.
Yeah, I mean he's been on the roster for less than a year. It'll be a year at SummerSlam. Well, actively participating as a wrestler. Mm-hmm. It'll be a year at SummerSlam. And again, Dominic has had great workers for him to work with. Yeah,
Clayton in the chat mentions Rey was a heel when Aaliyah and Buddy were dating.
He wasn't.
No, I know. But that's he was leaning that way by being an overbearing, annoying father. Not in reality, that's messed up. That was messed up. Yeah. Yeah. And the Gucci crap was oh man, I hate it. Or whatever it was. Louis Vuitton. Yeah. All of the rich people garbage. But yeah, but that's what gives me faith that I think he can do it. Cause that was a confusing, muddled mess. I think he can be a baddie.
Okay. Dirty Dogs win.
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah. I really hope so. I just don't think it's that interesting otherwise.
And again, this is their second defense of the tag titles or something like that.
Yeah, it's
so
whack, like...
yeah, I'm pretty sure that they're going to retain, and maybe it is the Usos who beat them. But what's going to be more impactful? Is it more impactful for the Usos to maybe, okay, let's say Dominic and Rey win the match, then the Usos take on Dominic and Rey and absolutely rout them, and it's heat. That works?
That works for me. Fine with that. So if that happens, that's just where I'm going to hope it's going. But again, like that means at least a 2 to 3 month, I think, reign by the Mysterios.
Yeah, yeah. And it does have to stretch out for a few months with Dominic and Rey.
Which means they're going to be doing stuff like Nia and Shayna were doing, just bouncing around, fighting people in like a middling kind of pointless, non-legitimate feud way.
It'd be Dominic and Rey versus the Dirty Dogs again, and then it's because there's only 4 or 5
yeah,
tag teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Street Profits will try and go for it, and then that's the other thing too. If Dirty Dogs retain, there isn't much left for them. There are no face tag teams.
No.
Unless they suddenly make one up. Shit, maybe Dominic and Rey do win tonight.
Yeah, we'll see.
Because it resets the tag division that's been lacking.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of things that are lacking, people's judgment when it comes to how Bianca Belair gives a promo.
Why?
Yeah.
Explain.
If someone said, okay, I'll just get it out right. And when you shine like I shine, you get a whole lot of hate. It's a lyric. The second that Bianca said it in her promo, I was like, that's a lyric, easily. And it is. Okay. And then I watch a bunch of post-show people be like, I don't like this version of Bianca Belair. It's too cocky. And
what?
I don't understand her. And I'm like, mother, it's first of all, it is a lyric. It's by Flo Milli, and the song's called Shine. It's like a minute long. All you had to do was Google it, and you would have figured that out. I don't understand people's frustrations with Bianca.
She's always been that confident. It's a clever, that's clever confidence, which is usually likable in my experience. I have no issue with that. Like, it wasn't putting down other people at all. So like, that's not cockiness. I didn't even think twice. I just thought that was a well put together bit.
And it was, and I agree.
It's totally on brand. Like that is not in any way different from anything she said in the recent past. Like she calls herself the BES, like the ESD, the fastest, strongest, bestest. Like what? Or best, I guess, bestest.
Your baby face can be a little bit cocky.
It's a combat sport.
They can back it up.
That's what they do.
She fights for the right reasons. Just so happens that she's very good at it.
Ever since Don King, this is what every single fighter does. Like, you have to exude confidence. Like,
there it is in the chat. First people complain about Bianca being too sentimental, and now they complain about her being cocky. It's fickle. It is fickle.
Yeah.
What do you not like?
I'm guessing maybe there's other reasons, but anyway.
I'm hoping that's not the case, especially because the people who usually go after these segments are not. They don't have those viewpoints.
Okay.
They don't have those feelings.
Yeah, I didn't see much of it, so yeah.
Yeah, either way, I think it's just because this is a brand new character. This is someone who's trying to do something that's a little bit different than what you see out of a babyface. I like it.
I love it. It's great. Like it. Oh man. And I didn't get the EST thing for so long, and then like it made a lot of sense, right? When they started running those packages. So
it's like I said, the second that I saw her in a random NXT promo before she even debuted, and she did a big old 450 splash with the hair.
With the hair, yeah.
And I was onto a crash pad. I was like, that's it. She's got it. That's it. I don't care what it is. She's going to be big. It's happening. So there you go. And she's getting Bayley this Sunday, which is huge.
I mean, great. Another, WrestleMania Backlash thing.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I like that they had their little juxtaposition of the moment, the Mania moment. It was Bianca had the big night 1, and then night 2, Bayley got tossed down the stage by the belts. I was like, when she said, "Do you want to get real?"
I was like, yeah, the real cuts deep. But anyway,
you know what I thought they were going to get real with? I thought she was going to say something like, "I have a husband who loves me, and your fiance left you," and I was like. Are you gonna go there?
They're not gonna do that.
They're not. Sometimes they'll go there, but it has to be everyone's okay with it.
Everyone has to be aware of it, and I don't know that like Bayley's personal life is that out there, So
once upon a time, WWE ran this was maybe 5 or 6 years ago. They ran a promo where Paige brought up Charlotte's brother Reed, who had died like very recently. And that was part of the promo, and people were up in arms about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Don't break
Listen, when Eddie died, it was the same thing. Randy Orton told Rey Mysterio, Eddie's in hell.
Yeah, I know that. And like there was, Randy's talked about that recently, like quite a bit. It's just like, I did not feel comfortable doing that. But the whole family was like, no, he would want this. I was like, okay.
There's that general feeling in wrestling where it's just like, if I could be part of the show, I want to be part of the show, posthumously included. I don't get it. The fake laugh is being brought up in the chat. Now, the fake laugh to me is Bayley reminding us that Sasha Banks is still in play.
Yeah, I think it's to make people, like, she's a heel right now, right? And like you laugh like that, it's like you're instantly dislikable. So I think it's a put on to be that force,
And I really think that it's just Bayley subtly reminding us that Sasha will come back and Sasha will go after Bianca for that title.
Yeah.
Now they have a match on Sunday tonight. Bianca and Bayley, SmackDown Women's title. Who wins the match?
Bianca retains.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty easy. We talked about King of the Ring, but we can talk about the Intercontinental Championship Fatal 4-Way going on SmackDown next week instead of tonight, and I like that. I don't know how you feel about it. I was very happy to see a TV main event announced instead of being forced shoehorned onto a pay-per-view that I hope ends at like 9:45 Eastern tonight.
Yeah, I actually thought, okay. Yeah, it's good. It's good. The way they got there with that stupid coronation ceremony, whatever the hell that was stupid.
Oh, yeah.
Like, was that just an excuse to put a tall man on a box? Like, that's what it felt like. And I was like, this is dumb. This is the dumb. Like, why am I watching this?
Put that tall man in a box.
Yeah, and I mean, I think
strong.
Pat said he's 25 feet in the air, and I was like, this entire segment is just for that garbage line.
This entire segment is to get 25 feet high.
Like, oh. Easier ways to get high, man.
Tell me about it. Meanwhile, I like the idea that, again, that we're doing this on TV.
Yes.
Build it up to a big event on TV, on Fox. You've got this big contract, right? So you've got, you did Bryan and Reigns, and that ended up being a really big match that was built tall. Do it the same way.
Yeah. Plus, they have to compete with other promotions now doing this staggered, like, 2-week big TV event. So, like,
yes,
it's happening all over. It's pushing them all, which is good to see. That's
also,
what you want. That's what you want in this competition. You don't want, like, boring ratings bickering. I want to see them, like, try to outdo each other week after week. That's what was missing during the era when there was nothing. So
I'm actually quite happy that they're doing it this Friday and not next Friday on the 28th.
Yeah.
Because next Friday is when AEW and SmackDown run head to head. And if they'd run this match, people would have been, oh, they're just trying to push AEW around.
No, but they want to build religious viewers, right? And you don't do that by like just competing when it matters. You have to do it week after week or stagger it. So
yeah. What did you think of the promo all in all? From Apollo Crews?
The whole thing started like, like that's how he started. I was like, and I like laughed out loud to myself sitting here like with headphones on, just watching that because I was like, oh, are you into this? Like what?
I was honestly half paying attention to that.
Yeah, he just started. He was like, here we are doing this thing. I was like, okay, all right.
I thought he was gonna give him stripes and make him Admiral Aziz, because Vince loves alliteration.
Yeah.
Instead, that's not what they did.
The Nigerian Medal of Honor, which is getting to the point of like, is this offensive?
They've done that before with Rusev. And then they had, what's his face, Aiden English come out and sing Rusev Day. And that launched a whole nother whatever. I'm surprised no one was in the box.
Yeah, right?
That's
like,
what
just
I wanted.
Flip him, but I don't know. It seems like he can't take a bump.
He can, just maybe doesn't want to take that bump.
They're making him seem real precious. He doesn't do anything. He does this stupid thumb finisher, which is like what they give to people who can't do anything.
It's fair. Okay, so it's anyone's match. I expect Cruz to retain. That's what I expect.
Yeah. Same. I'm excited for it. It'll be good, but I fully expect Apollo Crews to retain, and then they're gonna have to figure out what they're gonna do. Because like I don't think Big E's not gonna keep coming back for this. He's gonna do something. He can like I wouldn't be surprised if Big E ends up being that 1 monther to fill the gap while Jimmy and Jay. I wouldn't be surprised. He can come back for it later, but like
I don't know how that's gonna come off to people, because there's a lot of the expectation is that Big E becomes the next guy. Like
exactly.
The big story for Roman.
Exactly. But like, what do we do? Who steps up? Who's in that position right now?
I don't mind the idea of Big E going up against Roman, losing, and then having to come back bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
I see in the chat Big E working with Seth next. That would be good.
That'd be fine. Yeah, I'd be into that.
There's a good story in there to be told, and there's also an opportunity for Big E to get a big statement win with Seth.
Yeah.
Why not have Big E have Seth win a few matches, because that's something that needs to happen.
He does need to, yeah.
You need to build Seth a little bit. Have Big E go against Roman, get slaughtered by Roman, and then have Big E have to build himself back up to go against Roman and prove himself again. But the problem is he the guy to really beat Roman? Nobody knows.
Probably not till Mania.
If that, I don't even know.
Yeah.
So going back to KO and Sammy, do we team them up again? Does Kevin Owens become Karen Owens and start complaining with Sammy? Does Kevin Owens see the light and see that Sammy is being, brought down by his oppressors?
I feel like that arc has maybe run its course. They'll have to. I think Sammy's going to switch things up pretty soon. So I don't know. Maybe we see something with them as they do need tag teams. Maybe we see them put together something a little bit different and work as a tag team. Yeah,
I think it's time to figure out where Sammy and KO fit, either together or apart, on the SmackDown roster.
Yeah,
because there seems to be this thing where you face Roman, you have a good match, maybe 2 or 3, and then afterwards it's like, what do I do? There's not a lot of air at the top. There's a lot of air in the middle. There's not a lot at the top. So they got to figure out how those storylines play. And also, WWE's conditioned us for so many years that the title is all you need to tell the story. That's not true at all.
No. God, no.
And that's why, again, going back to Big E and Seth, that works.
Yeah.
You can have a feud that's not for a title that eventually builds to him wanting a title.
Yep.
Let's get to the rest of the WrestleMania Backlash. Back-esquilax.
Oh my God.
And if you want to watch the show along with us tonight, I mean, Tim, you're invited to join us too. We'll be over on twitch.tv/FightfulGaming, as we are for every single pay-per-view. We're going to watch the show together, hang out. I'll be there. A bunch of friends will be there. We'll get all the friends and we'll hang out. So let's get to the remaining matches on the card. For the WWE Championship, we've got Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Braun Strowman in a triple threat. What are you thinking? Because Lashley and Drew and Braun are no strangers to each other. They keep fighting each other. They keep having the same one-on-one matches. Now we got a triple threat. What do you want?
I don't know anymore. Just Bobby's going to retain. I hope it's a good match. I don't know what's going to happen with Drew after this.
So you think Bobby's going to retain?
Yeah, I hope so.
I think so too. And I don't know how many championships are going to change hands tonight.
Yeah.
I don't see the tops yet.
I don't feel like Backlash is normally the pay-per-view where big things happen.
On the other hand, a lot of people are going after Braun, saying that he's going to take the pin. What if Braun pulls out the win?
I don't think that's going to happen.
No shock? No shock in having Braun as the new champion going into Monday?
That would be a shock, but I don't know. He's had some weird runs the last couple feuds, so I think they need to take a step back and redefine who he is.
That's a good point. I lost my audio there for a second. Pardon me.
Oh, fun.
I know, to the point where, it's fine. The last few minutes of the show will just be weird. So, yes, I'm going to go. I'll stick with Lashley. Let's go to the Women's Raw Championship. We've got Rhea Ripley, the champion, defending against Asuka and Charlotte Flair, because shoehorn Charlotte. What do we think? I mean, again, this has been a situation where Asuka just got pinned by Rhea Ripley. Charlotte has been dominant as not the champion, and Rhea Ripley has been present.
She has been present. I have no strong feeling about this. They need to. Rhea's promos haven't been great, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a good point. They haven't. she's been trying to figure out what she's supposed to do on the main roster.
Whereas even Charlotte's been doing a pretty good job promo wise, in ring wise.
Oh, she's been excellent.
Like I say just give it to her, figure out what you're doing after, because like love Rhea Ripley, but something's up and it's not happening right now. So
yeah, I don't expect Rhea to retain, because I think there needs to be some sort of build to her winning that championship back. I don't know what to see to get her there, but for now, Asuka or Charlotte. I also don't want to see Charlotte win the title back.
no, me neither, because it's boring. Like I don't want to see that, but like I feel like
You're telling the same story, but with Roman, like with Charlotte.
Yeah, like Rhea hasn't. I don't know. It's not working right now. They need to reassess.
But if you put the title back on Asuka, then you're just back to square one.
And they're not going to use her well because they didn't use her well the whole time. So
fuck it, Rhea retains.
Yeah, that's like I kind of expect that, but like it's all kind of a dull everything.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The match should be fine. They're going to tear it up. I mean, Charlotte having a triple threat match, having a match with Asuka and Charlotte is going to be great. Rhea Ripley is going to be fun. This is basically just the women's championship from NXT, except your Japanese competitor is Asuka and not Io.
Yeah.
And that's fine. A year ago, those three had a match that tore it up on NXT.
Yeah.
So we'll do it again. And then finally, the Lumberjack match, The Miz, who is like Lumberjack Master, going up against Damian Priest. Let's get Priest out of there. Please let this be the end.
This will be the last one. This is the last one. He'll win.
God, I hope so.
He's going to win, 100%.
What do? Do we have Damian Priest get held down by a bunch of lumberjacks so that Miz gets a count-out victory?
No. Priest is going to win. The Miz is going to do all of the Miz shtick where he tries to get away. The lumberjacks will shove his ass back in. Once there's no escape. I don't expect this match to be that long.
Oh, I don't either. I also expect that Morrison will be the reason that Miz loses the match.
Already? I like that.
Yeah.
They need tag teams.
They're getting to that point where they're trying to tell the story of Miz and Morrison breaking up, but it's going to be it's not going to be immediate. It's not going to be tonight.
No, but yeah, soon.
Yeah, it could be tomorrow. It could be tomorrow night on Raw, but I don't know for sure. They could stretch it out a little bit more until there's something that really gets them. Maybe they get a Raw Tag Team title match and they lose to Omos and AJ, and that is what does it. I could see that being the reason. But and that's why you can't do it tomorrow night, because if the Miz wins tonight, then he has a reason to say, I want Omos and AJ. So they got to build that if that's how we get there. Otherwise, I do see Damian Priest getting the win. That's it.
Yeah.
We can talk about NXT UK, but also we've gone for a while. So
we have gone for a while. NXT UK was good. First time watching it. Wargasm is the theme song. Love that band. Had no idea. I was like, oh damn, okay, already digging this show. Don't know what the hell the Heritage Cup was, but I picked it up pretty quick, so that was cool.
Yeah, you understood.
Very easy.
You understood
very
how
easy
the
to follow.
Rules work.
Yeah. I think we talked about that ages ago, and I had since forgot. But like, yeah, it's easy to pick up. Wrestlers are good characters. They got heel Brizongo. We got a lot of British.
Brizongo.
We got a lot of British nonsense in the background that I kind of followed some of it.
Fair.
Women's match was tremendous. I really like. It was Isla Dawn, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they really dug her. She was cool. Dope.
It was wonderful. That match was really good.
Very good.
That number one contender match. Seeing Meiko Satomura take over was fun. I'm excited.
Great wrestlers in the gauntlet. Kaylee Ray coming out was kind of lame for me, how she reacted. But I guess that's her character, right? She's the forever champ. So she comes out and she's like, how dare you win a match? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. But it was good. I actually really liked it, and it was very watchable. Like, it all moved along at a great clip. Like,
yes.
Very enjoyable. And the women talent were, like, shot, like, just so impressive. So I'm excited to see
I'm
more.
really, really excited to see Amal start to get her bearings on NXT or NXT UK. I saw her in Toronto I guess now almost 2 years ago, when she was performing over SummerSlam weekend. And I was like, enthralled. She was the WXW Women's Champion. She was like just an excellent wrestler and a beautiful person. I got to talk with her for a few minutes, and yeah, just a great talent. I'm looking forward to more of her.
Who was Amal?
She was the one who took out Zaya Brookside the week before.
The French one. She was French.
The French one.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. She seems great.
She does. I think she's got the right gimmick going. So I'm excited for more NXT UK, and we'll talk more about NXT UK next week because this week kind of got dominated by two big shows, one upcoming, one last night, and then a big SmackDown. So we'll actually be able to do more NXT UK talk down the line. Yeah. We'll head to the exits. I see Clayton in the chat talking about the empty studio settings for NXT UK, Impact, anyone else. ROH is still doing it. We're getting closer to the end of empty studios. I just want to get my jab.
Got mine.
Got yours. I'm so jealous.
The second one's in September, so gonna be a while.
Yeah, I think after this I might go for a long walk and try and find a place where I can get a free jab. That's what I'll do.
Who wants to stab me?
Exactly. I'm gonna walk around Toronto and just be like, hey, stab me. All right. Let's get out of here, Tim. Where can the kids find you on the internet?
Kids can find me at TimStoneP, TimbStonep on Twitter.
You can find the show at Tim and Joel Pod. We're not hard to find. TimandJoelPod.com or YouTube.com/TimandJoelPod. Drop a like on the video. Leave a comment if you want. We'd love to hear from you. And subscribe. Tap that bell. Get your notifications. You can make that face that Tim's making while you're doing it, because I think that works great. I'm at Joel Pearl. You can find me all over the internet there, including twitch.tv/Joel Pearl. You can also find me on pay-per-view nights, like tonight if you're watching live on Sundays, for the Fightful Gaming Twitch TV watch-alongs. I'm being completely thrown off by that face. Go to twitch.tv/Fightful Gaming. You can watch me and a whole gang of idiots watch any pay-per-view that's on. Any of them, including tonight's WrestleMania Backlash. Get the hell out of here.